Hello everyone, this is Damon with PixNub Software. In this video I'm going to be going over setting up actions to create dynamic PSD templates. Now this is not the first video of the series. There's several videos before this that discuss different templates, and there's different methods for creating these actions, and I'm not going to be repeating some of the stuff I showed in the other videos, so I recommend going to this page, and I've got a link in the description of the video for this page that goes over the other videos, and I suggest watching those in order because I go through some stuff in the previous videos that I won't be showing here. Now also, it's probably a bit easier to follow along if you have this template, which is available on our website. If you don't have it, then just try to follow along the best you can. I'll try to make this visually is easy to see, but it does help to have the template as a follow along. The template does come with all of these actions, so you don't need to set anything up from scratch if you purchase this template. I'm making these videos to help you so you can know how to set up your other templates that don't come with these actions. Alright, so now this wrestling template, the major difference is the way I set this template up versus the others I showed in the other videos is there's a lot less layers in this. It's more lean with how this is set up, and the actions themselves are less steps as well. Now there's advantages to doing it the way I did this wrestling template, but there's also some different advantages with how the other templates are set up. Like for example, this volleyball template, the actions do have more steps. You do have more layers. However, you have layers you can click on to hide and show right in your template. So that creates a lot of extra layers, but it makes it maybe a little bit easier if you're wanting to manually just click on different color items. Whereas in this wrestling template, for example, you've only got one color item or one color adjustment per item. So to change it, you could go into your template, change the color to whatever you want. However, you don't have the different layers to click on. So there is advantages to each, and depending on your template design, you might like one method over the other. But I'm just going to go over this and show you how this is done, and then you can decide what to use for your own templates that you're designing or modifying to be dynamic templates. So I'm going to go set this, I think I'll start with the flare and actually show you how the flare is set up. I want to show the flare and then this year font, because this font's actually editing a layer style, which is different than the way I did the layer styles in this Orioles. So I suggest actually watching the Orioles template video and the volleyball template tutorial before watching this one. So I'm going to go over the differences so you can see the advantages to each. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually go set this, let's get back to the wrestling template here. Let's go set this flare to one of the colors that it comes with. Just want to take a look and see what values I actually used. Alright, so saturation 45, brightness 75, hue 220. Let's keep that in mind for when I record these. So I'm going to make a new action set as a starting point. Now what I like to do is make an action that doesn't have any steps in it, just as a title. So let's call this flare. So when I hit record, it makes that, but I'm going to hit stop. And I do these for each, like matte center, matte outer, team color name, and that way it groups the actions, and so you can see that all of the actions within a certain group are the actions that change colors for what's in the title there. It's just visually makes it a lot easier and a lot more organized when you're setting these up. Alright, so now I'm going to create a new action to adjust. Oh, before I do that, you want to make sure when you start recording an action here to do this, you're not on the layer that you want to adjust, because I want the action to actually record the step to select the layer. So when you play that action, it's going to first select the proper layer. So I'll select any other layer, doesn't matter which one, just something other than the one we're going to adjust here. Now I'm going to hit New Action. We'll call this Red Flare. Now this action is just going to be a two-step action. So step 1 selects the flare color. Then step 2, I'll double click on this, is going to edit the flare color. So I'll use the same saturation and brightness here, 45 and 75. Then I can just hit stop. So this action, let me set this color to anything else here. And we'll test our action. Okay, so that works. That's all we needed to do. So to make the other colors, you simply just duplicate these first. I'll duplicate 2 more, but you would do as many as you need for all the colors you wanted to make. Okay, so now we have 3 actions that are identical, just with different names. So the only thing we need to do is edit this step in each of these actions that actually changes the color. So if you're on the layer that we're wanting to change that step for, we don't have to actually hit the record button. If we just double click on this step, you see this is now recording, and we're changing what this step does. So let's make this green. Pretty sure I used 130 for the hue, which is not pure green, but I think I like that hue better when I set this template up. Same thing for the blue. I'm going to click on the Set Current Fill layer, double click that. Let's change this to the blue, which I used 220 for this template. So now all 3 of our actions are actually set up. So if we let's test these, we'll play the red one. Let's play the green one. And let's play the blue one. So really, really simple to set actions up this way. Now if you're just wanting to set up another color for the existing template actions, one thing you would, all you would need to do actually is just duplicate that action. So let's find the flare. Let's just duplicate this one. So let's just make this a magenta flare. So now I'm on that color again. Double click the Set Fill Color layer. Let's just make this a magenta color. So let's now test that. Select any other layer to make sure everything works. So it does. It sets the color. Now one thing with this method, it makes it really easy by doing the double click method, but you just have to be careful. So for instance, if you're on one of the actions that it comes with and you're on that color and you double click to set this color, because you're just changing the template on the fly for what you want for that moment. But now I've actually changed this this blue, so it doesn't work properly anymore. Let's set this back to white. Now I'll click on the blue here and hit play. So now you see I've modified that one. So just be careful you're not going into the actions that it came with that you need and just double clicking this to set your color, because then you're actually modifying the actions. You can see that record button. So Photoshop makes it easy to edit those steps, but it doesn't give you a warning saying, hey, you're modifying this action. Now if you do that, it's really no big deal, because the only thing you need to do is throw this away. And then go back to your load actions. And then you've got the actions just as they came in your download back. So if we go back to the blue flare and play it again, now it's back to normal. So just get to understand how to edit the actions, and if you mess them up, just know that you can get those back by reloading your actions. All right, so now I'm going to discuss this year font color. Now for this one, you see there are no color adjustments to this year. It's just one layer. Well, that's because the color is actually being set by the outer glow layer in this layer style. And this is the only place the color is set. And for basic layer styles like this, you can make actions. You can do it for more complex as well, but for basic ones is where I would recommend it. It's where it's a two-step action. You select the year and then you edit the layer style. Now, for more complex layer styles like this Orioles, for example, so let's take a look at one of these layer styles. This one is set up with, let's try to find it here, with colors and blending modes within the layer style. And there's even a gradient for the stroke, as well as these text layers each have their own unique color associated with them outside the layer style. So for something like this, I recommend using the method I showed in this video. And because if you want to edit the way this looks, you can edit that layer style on the template and you won't need to re-record your action. Now I do discuss all that in the video for this, but for something basic like this where it's just one glow color on a layer style, this is a very good method to use for the way I set up this wrestling template. So let's go through this procedure to do this again. Let's go back to our wrestling temp that we just made. I'm going to make a new action, and let's call this year. And again, this is just my title action. So I'll hit record, hit stop, and that way I've got just a group separator there. And then I'm going to make sure I'm not on the year because I want the action to record the step to select that layer. So now that I'm not on the layer, I'm going to hit new action. Let's just call this red year. And then hit record. Oops, I accidentally started recording in the wrong set. So you see where this action started recording? That's because I don't think I had anything selected, so it just put it in the default, or maybe I had the default action set selected. Anyway, if you see that happen, you can just move it. So I hit stop. I'm going to move it into the wrestling temp group, reselect that, and now I'm going to hit record again. Okay, so step 1 selects the year, and you can see that records that. Step 2, I'm going to double click on the layer style, go into my outer glow. Let's make that red. And that's it. So now this action will work for that. Let's set this to something else so we can test it here. Okay, that outer glow is now blue, so let's test our action, make sure it works. And it makes that glow around the text red. So same exact procedure as we did with the flare. I'm just going to duplicate this. I'll just do red, green, and blue again. But for your own, you can do as many as you want. Now, same thing, after the action is already recorded, we don't have to re-record. We just need to make sure we're on that layer and then double click set layer styles of current layer, and you see that now that we double click this step of the action, it's actually recording. So again, be careful you're not double clicking the steps in the actions that you don't want to change, but in this case we do want to change it. So what was this, the green one we're doing? So it's 130, hit OK. We'll go to the blue. Again, we're on the year, so just double click this step. I'm now changing that step because the record button's on. We can see that. Then we'll put in the blue color we want. All right, so all three of these should be set up. I'll test these here. The red works. And we'll go to the green. We've got the green outline. And we'll go to the blue. It's kind of hard to see the blue because the flare is blue, so let's just change this flare color to make sure. Okay, we see that the blue year did put the blue outline on the text. So anyway, really pretty easy. So it's, like I say, it's up to you if you want to use the method shown in this template or you want to use the other methods showing in the volleyball or the Orioles template, and also the night game template. I did a tutorial video on that. So there's just different methods that you have the choice for, and there's actually dozens and dozens of methods you can do this. You can actually get as advanced as you want with these actions. There's really no rules to what you can do with the actions in order to make your templates dynamic. Like, for example, I'm not going to go over how to create every effect action I make, but just as an example for this template, there is this action to blur the team name. This is going to add a blur effect behind this font that has the same angle as the light rays, and you could make actions to create for your dynamic templates that do any number of crazy and exotic things. This is just a fairly simple example, but the whole point is you set up your actions to do what you want to do for the templates. Then you have one-click buttons to play those actions, which can also be played through the Sports Photo Automation program when it batches. So it makes your templates fully automatable as well as being dynamic. So anyways, hope you liked the video, and if you're interested at all in this template to follow along in this video, you can get this on our website. Thanks for watching.